It's the fact that we got grown-ass men outside the store at 6 a.m., 7 a.m. and 8 a.m. waiting for Swatch and AP. But none of you out there, you know what, outside Hatters trying to buy no AP. You know, should be embarrassed. Should be embarrassed. Really into,
When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Want it! When do we want it? Now!
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
Please pay attention. If you are here for Swatch, thank you very much for coming. And thank you very much for following the instructions, okay? So Swatch, I'm the Swatch store manager. Nice to meet you all. Let's be clear, guys. We're not opening the store today. Right? Go and shop with the other lovely brands for now, okay? Today, the Swatch store is closed. So set that 3 times.
Open then. When you gonna open, bro?
Okay? So right now, we don't know when you will be open. Fact, right? Second fact, we are closed. Third time,
They're saying that there's not opening us.
right? Go onto our website, swatch.com, right? And contact us from there, okay?
Oh, so that's what you guys are doing. Oh, okay. Going crazy for the pocket watch, the one that swings. You know, Peaky Blinders. Okay. It gets to the point that you have to get to that point where you're hysterical for the AP and Swatch collab. Okay. It's all good wanting a product, but come on. The pandemonium. You can have the desire for a product, go out, do what you have to do to go and get a product that you like, right? Visually, it's appealing, whatever, that's good. But the hysterics because it's AP. Because if it was Swatch and it was just Swatch alone, would it cause that kind of havoc? People are going crazy, putting themselves in danger. And to be fair, the stores having to close, I think Swatch and AP should have known that this would have happened. You know, and when it comes to something that is considered luxury, people are going to go nuts for it. And I think that's the whole, you know, basis of why obviously this has become as crazy as it was. The release was on May 16th, you know, on a Saturday. You had people camping out a week before. You had people camping out in the different branches and regions that they were selling it in the UK. They're obviously selling it in the US as well. I think they had 12 plus or 12 branches in this country, in the UK. And I think 20 plus in the States. And in both situations, both countries, going crazy for it. I think luxury will always have a hold when it comes to how the mentality is about wanting something that has a luxury sort of connotation behind it. Because you get people obviously who are the average person. The idea of it gets them going. The idea of it makes them act like this. But it's so interesting to see the contrast between people who are getting to it financially, are really doing it well, and how they are in comparison to the normal average person, and how they are when the word or the term luxury comes, and what their attitudes are and how they respond to it. This is a prime example of luxury just grabbing hold of the masses with ease. Just the release of AP and Swatch, as long as it says AP on it, it doesn't matter if it doesn't have a strap on the watch. As long as it is AP, people are going crazy for it. Now, this is the watch. So you're swinging that, swing that, swing that. This is what you will get. There's obviously multiple colors. I believe it's a ceramic sort of design in terms of, you know, the finish of the watch. And where they are being sold, 12 boutiques are confirmed, 5 in London. So Westfield City, so that's obviously in Shepherd's Bush, London, Oxford Street, Carnaby Street, Battersea Power Station, and Covent Garden. Plus Birmingham, Cardiff, Sheffield, Edinburgh, Glasgow, Manchester, and Liverpool. And we're seeing a lot of crazy antics. You saw the first part of the video. You saw people going nuts for it. And like I say, the idea of luxury has got people, and will always have people in the hold. It's it's just the mentality behind how people are reacting because it's AP. Like I said, if it was Swatch, are people doing this? No. Now, I'm sure resellers are going to make money from it because I've been seeing on eBay. The price of this watch, by the way, is £335. In America, I believe it's $400. I'm seeing pricing $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 for this watch. So if you're a reseller, I guess it makes sense. But people, come on, grown adults jumping up and down in the lines, getting pushed and come on. Is there a cost of living crisis in the UK? We got to question it. I'm all for the, notion that there's an issue, right? Because there's always going to be issues in countries. I'm all for the notion that people need help and people need to be, assisted. But is there a cost of living crisis? Because as far as I saw in the different areas, and you will see coming up, people are going nuts. And it doesn't seem there's a cost of living crisis because £335. People may say, oh, for a pocket watch, that's too expensive. But at the same time, it's not that much. But £335, huh? You're spending on a pocket watch in a cost of living crisis, allegedly? I don't know. You got to question it. It would have been better if Swatch and AP had done an online release as well. So there's not too much craziness happening in person. But I believe also the way they've done this, it's helped, I would say, younger people be more acclimatized to AP and maybe having a chance to have Audemars, in their collection. And I think them collaborating with Swatch gives them a sort of different viewpoint now, I believe, with the younger audience. I believe obviously they've got a dedicated customer base who earn a certain amount, who are able to get, the 50,000 plus watches. But when it comes to now within the young audience, they now will have more anticipation if they were to, let's just say, release one with a strap, right? A full watch. You're going to see maybe more of the younger audience gravitate to AP. And I think that's a little bit of their process, what they're looking to do, get more familiarity. The same way Rolex has more familiarity with the average person and most importantly, younger people as well. So I think AP want to try and get into that kind of mind of people, of younger people as well. But it'll be interesting to find out what their core audience think about this. The people that spend the 50, 60, 80, 100K amounts, what are they thinking?
Hello everybody, this is Helen in the Swatch store. I confirm we will not be opening today. You can all disperse please. Thank you.
Give us a reason or something.
We will not be opening the store today.
Why?
So that was Westfield in Shepherd's Bush. I believe that was on the day of the release. And I believe obviously people were camping out prior, for a couple of days, even some people up to a week. And they got to that door, camped, or even some of the people that got there on the day turned away for the £335 pocket watch. A comment on the video said, so they waited for a week for nothing. More or less. Why are people so obsessed with this watch? You see, you're missing a point. It's AP. The idea of luxury. The idea of being perceived better if you have it. If you have AP on your CV. Another person said, someone shouted, what about tomorrow? Yes. Someone actually said, what about tomorrow? What? Are you opening? I think with this one, it's one of those situations where I believe also it's not a limited edition. So it would be in stores, for a certain amount of time, considerable amount of time. So there will be people that should be able to get it potentially. There's another comment that says there's no resale value. It's unlimited. I'll walk in tomorrow and get one. There are people selling it, like I said earlier, for £1,000 plus on eBay. There's some people I even saw making sales in the crowd. Some people that managed to get some. Resellers are buying this, but the ones who sat there for days on end and didn't get it, it just shows you luxury has the average person and the idea of it in a chokehold.
So you mean to tell me this whole time it was never these watches and it was a pocket watch?
I'm still copying that shit.
It was never about owning a watch.
It was about owning an AP.
AP. That's what's got people. And I think people know this, but it's crazy. Because just imagine if this was the actual watch with the strap, then there would have been a riot to a point where it would have been maybe even more dangerous. Luxury is such a thing. It's such an ideology that even you don't even need to sell luxury. It's like when you're young, you know what looks nice and you know the perception behind things that are expensive. You know there's rich people out here and you know that the idea of having sometimes what looks nice and is expensive, it doesn't need to be sold to you. You can just see immediately. If you see a Ferrari, if you see a nice house, a big house, if you see, you know, a nice watch or whatever it is, you know what that means to people, right? Luxury does not really need to be sold. Once it's sold, that's it. The idea of it will always be in your minds as you progress in life or as you live in life. So this is a prime example of it. You don't need to see it every day. You just need to know that it's associated with these items like an AP. Luxury is associated with whatever brand is out there. So people will always want it because the idea of it is fanciful and it's something that puts people in their eyes like, look, I've arrived.
Everybody, step back! All of you, step back. Take a step back now. I'm not watching you move. What number are you going to be? Number one, bro. I'm going to be first. Give me the AP there, bro. Give me life. That's all I need. Let's go and drop back, please. Backwards. Move backward. Let's go. Stop moving back. Guys, backward. Let's go. Guys, can you drop back? That's right, the space back there. Drop back.
Well, I'm very sorry about that. I do know you're a regular customer and I do appreciate you coming today. It's just an issue going on with the police. The bullring security have been very helpful. The police kind of
yeah, but you're not entitled to a watch.
You guys stole it all.
3 days, PDF, out of choice. Yeah, that's it. Done. Yeah, but if this had been done properly,
you check your pockets.
don't talk about that. No, I meant this. You guys to wait here. Look at that. Look at the people. Yeah, I'm not going to take this off for the car.
Is it dispersed? We'll start dispersing you. I'm going in the ballroom for other things.
Well, it's not going to open till you're all gone. You can wait all day.
I'm not doing nothing illegal. Why are you standing here? Because this is a public space, bro. I'm not doing nothing wrong.
It's actually a private space.
Okay, but I'm not doing nothing wrong. I'm not charging.
Well, we'll disperse you. Have to go.
Don't go. We'll disperse you.
We're getting you up to
You can't come back for 24 hours. It's up to you. Either leave or we'll disperse you.
So that was Birmingham. They have some of the major issues as well. You saw their seats is all crushed. People are all pushing and shoving. Police, get back. Some saying you're not entitled to a watch and telling people to leave the line. This is what the average person thinks. Like they want what they want, even if they're in danger physically, even if they get trampled on. What they want is AP. And that's Cardiff. You got Cardiff as well. Again, a lot of these stores were all being closed. I believe that was Glasgow. That was also some of the clips of people waiting. And I believe those clips were from at least 4 or 5 days before the release date on May 16th. Take that into consideration. Someone in the comments says, quite embarrassing. Another person says, only 100 pieces in each store and general release after. I don't know if it's a good idea to camp almost a week before. Well, the people that did it, they will obviously have their, reasons. Some will say, oh, I just did it maybe because I want to be part of the experience. Some did it because obviously they're trying to resell it. And some did it because they actually want the pocket watch that swings. I think for me, embarrassing, I would say, yeah, potentially, Imagine if even the weather was bad, like if the weather was just going crazy, hailstones and rain, would people still be there? Maybe, because it's AP.
Drop is tomorrow. I didn't think people would line up for a pocket watch, but obviously, you feel me? Whole line, 120, bro. We're active. Bro, this is active, bro. Running out, and this line is long, son.
Thank you. Thanks.
But this line is too long.
Dublin, where people were camped out, it's interesting whenever these kinds of things happen, because I remember even in the 2010s when Jordans particularly were getting released around those times. I've bought Jordans when they were getting released, but I've never been in line. It was always online. And that was a benefit back then. Anytime the Jordans were getting released in the 2010s, I remember 09, 010, 011, 012, 013, all those times, it was always online. But that was a good alternative. Whereas, as I was saying, it would have been better maybe if Swatch and AP had said, look, we're going to do some online stock so it can alleviate any kind of these issues.
I did say before the drop that Swatch were not going to be doing a limited release of these, only one run of them for about 8 months or so, and that this will not be a limited release. Yet so many people have gone up to Q. This is why I didn't end up going to Q, because I know that they're going to be in shops for ages. Some of these shops weren't even stocking all the models. Swatch have literally plastered all over their social media, why are you going to Q? We cannot have massive queues of people. And they even put here, this is not a limited edition. It's limited in the sense that production is going to be finite, but it's not limited in the sense there's going to be a finite amount of models. And we have another warning post here saying they may need to pause it and do not rush in the store in large numbers, because again, this is not a limited edition piece. So many people went to go and queue knowing this information or not knowing this information. And if you didn't know this information, then you lacked. Because why are you not actually going to look at the product information that you're actually going to try buy and resell or wear or whatever? For the last time, this is not limited. So many clowns out there went and queued for hours, and this will probably be a shelf sitter.
He believes it will be a shelf sitter, but the thing is, people are buying it now online at £1,000 plus. So a shelf sitter, yes, it can be looked at as that. But if people are still not getting it a week after, for example, let's just say, people and the idea and the desire to get an AP will offset any kind of desire to just wait and Zoom is just going to be on the shelves. Let me know what you guys think about this whole mentality behind how people react, the average person, and then obviously the difference between the people who can actually afford the more pricier items when it comes to luxury.